Hi everyone! I've been always fascinated with this type of ink in water animation, so I decided to try and find a simple way to create this with Houdini. I love so much the result that I want to share with you how to make this ink in water. This will be a tutorial divided into two parts. On this first one, we are going to understand how we can create this smooth simulation and render it with redshift. On the next one, we are going to add custom velocity and mix colors. Hope you enjoyed this ink in water tutorial. Okay, let's start by creating our ink source. So let's place a geo, let's call it ink source. Let's type in, let's place a sphere. It will be a simple ink source. Okay, let's go to polygon. I don't like to work with primitives. Let's move up a little bit, transform. Okay, let's put 6 units up, and let's place a null, and let's call it ink source. Okay, let's go up, and in order to create that ink animation, we are going to use Pyro Solver. Okay, we are going to use below is smoke. So select this node, and below is smoke. Let's go up. As you can see, Houdini created a few nodes for us. Let's call it ink animation. Okay, let's go inside, and as you know, I don't like to see this one. I like to see only this one because the look on the viewport is similar to the render view. Okay, so let's start by working on the ink source. Okay, Houdini created these nodes for us. We don't need this one. Okay, so it created a pyro source. It is scattering. Let me hide this one so we can see. It is scattering points on our geometry. Okay, right now it is scattering on the surface, so let's change to volume. Okay, and let's decrease particle separation to have more resolution. Okay, have more points. Pretty cool. Let's change the density. If we don't change the density, our simulation will look like smoke and not ink, because ink looks like more dense. Okay, so let's change this something like 25. You'll see on the part 2 you can mix different inks with different densities to have different results and mix colors. Okay, so for now we are just using one, so let's go with 25. After that we are adding noise to the parameters density and temperature. You can change here, it's very important to change the pulse duration and element size if you want. Let's go with a really low element size so we have a lot of noise, and then rasterize to convert as those particles, okay, into these attributes. We are reading point attributes. Right now, as you can see, we have density, position, p-scale, and temperature, and we are going to convert some of them to volume, okay, to volume attributes: density, temperature, color, alpha, velocity, and full. Okay, because we are going to work with below is smoke, we just are going to use density and temperature. Okay, so ignore those ones. Let's go up. Let's make this invisible and make visible the ink animation. Okay, so let's go to our auto dop network where the magic happens. Okay, so on Pyro, let's decrease the division size to have more resolution on the animation. Right now I can see the Pyro container is way too big, so let's change this 6 by 6 by 6, and we know the center of the source is at 6. Okay, so we have our Pyro with 0.1 on division size. On our resize container, let's uncheck clamp to maximum so it will update all during the animation, and it will not cut or crop our Pyro simulation. Okay, On our source, we want to change one thing because we want to emit ink only during 1 second, for example. And right now it will emit ink all during all the animation. So let's change this to $FF. If it is less than 30, emit. After that, stop emitting. Okay. And we want to drop ink, so let's change the buoyance direction to -1. Okay, let me bring a reference. Okay, so this is a type of animation we are looking for. Okay, as you can see, we have a little bit of turbulence and shredding. Okay, and we have a lot of vortex. Okay, those swirls. We want to try and find a way with the simple pyro solver to get near this one. Okay, not this one because this is mixing colors. You can see we have a lot of vortex. Okay, first one is the best for this first part. Okay, so let's try replicate this with pyro. So let's go to pyro solver, to shape, and this dissipation we want something like 4%. We don't want disturbance because this will try and look like more of smoke. We want shredding. Okay, if you leave the mouse over the parameter, you can see a little resume what it does. Okay, it will shred the volume and create little mushrooms that we want. Okay, create streaks, separation, and leaks typical of fire. Okay, but we don't want that much. Turbulence, you already know what turbulence does. It's a kind of noise. Okay, it's a type of noise. Let's go with 25. I think that's cool for now. And confinement, this is the most important one. It will boost swirls, vortices where they exist. Okay, and that's what we are looking for, to have this type of look. Okay, those little mushrooms forming and swirling. Okay, so let's boost this up and let's add another node so we can control a little bit better and have better results. Just press tab and vortex, and don't use this vortex boost, and I'll explain it to you in a bit. Just use gas vortex confinement and wire this to the third input, to the velocity update. Okay, let's go up and press play. Right now we can see anything because we don't have lights, so I'm going to place my camera in the viewport like this one. Go to lights and camera, hold control and press distant light. It will create a distant light with the same angle view as the viewport. Okay, and then let's go to top view, perspective, and let's put another one here so we don't have full black. Again, hold control, distant light, and it will create that. I'm going to top view and then perspective, because if I go to perspective, it stays on ortho. I don't know if it's a bug only on my Houdini, but I need to go to top viewport and then back to perspective. Okay, now I'm on perspective. Select ink, space, shift H, so I can focus on my smoke. Okay, let's go back and press play. And as you can see, we are starting to get those mushrooms we are looking for. Pretty cool, but the resolution is really small. So let's go up. And I'm going to try and work with 0.6 while recording. I hope my computer doesn't break. And I'm going to do one thing because I have a lot of RAM. So in cache memory, I'm going to increase this to 25,000. Okay, 25 gigs of RAM to use on the cache, because this will take a lot of RAM. So let's press play and check the result. Okay, so let's check the animation. pretty cool. Let me turn on the clock so we can see in real time. Pretty cool. So right now, if you want to have more of that turbulence and those little pillows, you can come here and increase a little bit the shredding. Let's go with 4. 4 is way too much. 3, and I want less turbulence. Okay, let's check the result. Okay, let's check it. Okay, let's check the result. So on the last frame I can see we have more pillows, less turbulence, so we have more smooth mushrooms. Okay, and here we have the smoke dissipation. Okay, I really like this result, so let's see the animation. And it looks pretty cool. Okay, right now let's prepare this for rendering. Let's check how we can render this on redshift, because part of the magic is done in redshift. So before that I want to cache the animation, so we need to have really low really high resolution or really low division size. So I'm going with 0.02. I think that will work for now. Okay, I need to cache because this is going to take a while. Okay, and I'm going to cache 4 seconds or 5 seconds. Okay, let's go here. I want to put a file cache. As you may know, I love to work with this node. Let's call it ink cache. Load from disk. Okay, and place null. Okay, it is giving an error because I don't have any file now. So let's press save to disk and let it cache and be right back. Okay, I only rendered 3 seconds, 90 frames, so let's see this one. Pretty cool. It looks like ink, like we want, with a lot of pillows and mushrooms, just like we want. So let's check how we can render this one. Okay, so let's go to frame 60. I think that's a cool frame. Let's go to the final one. Let's delete these lights because we are going to work with redshift. Okay, I'm going to change my viewport, my workspace, to Doxia build. Okay, so I can have 2 views. Here will be the camera, so let's place a camera. Okay, camera 1. So let's change the resolution. Let's leave it to HD for now. Okay, let's place the camera. Something like this. Okay. And let's place redshift lights. So let's pick up here one light. I'm going to look. That's why I like this workspace, because I can see the camera here and work the lights and the viewport down here. Okay, so let's bring this up. You can see here on the camera the light. Okay, so I want something like this. Okay, that looks cool. Let's go to native viewport. I can see my camera. And let's increase this, maybe 5 by 20. No, 20 is way too much. 10 by 3. Okay, something like that. As you may know, we are going to render volumes, so in order to see the light bouncing on our volumes, we need to go to light, volume, and increase this contribution scale, so I'm going to add 0.5, and the samples, I'm going to increase the samples to 512. Okay, down here I have my shop network. Okay, I'm going to press tab and place a volume, res volume, redshift, go to ink animation, render, and let's pick up that res volume. Okay, I want a background, so let's place a grid. Let's wire this grid to the camera. Okay, I want the grid to be, I think it's not this one, X and Z. Okay, let's increase this one, oops, 50 by 50. Okay, let's go up. And let me see one thing. So now it is on the camera. So let's bring it back. Let me check. I can bring it up like this. Okay, that looks cool. I have a background. I can see on my camera that it is filling up all the view. Okay, let's add a material, res material. I want almost white, a little bit of reflection. Let's go to read and add this here. Okay, that looks cool. Now we need, on the out network, we need those nodes. So press this one, redshift, and it will create for us the two nodes that we need. Let's change a few things here. So I want to export a JPEG. Now it's up to you, of course. On redshift, I want to increase the samples. Okay, and then global illumination, brute force, and point cloud. I want this to be 8, 1024, and on point cloud, let's increase this like this. Okay, so let's check if this is working. So let's go to IPR. Let's wait a bit. And I can start seeing my volume. So I'm going to right click always on top. Okay, so I can see my render while I'm working. So one thing I need to do is turn down the light. Let's go to 5. I can see the light bouncing on the grid, on the background, and I don't want that. So I know I can find a way to ray contribution. I think it is on specular. Okay, turn off so we won't see on the reflections. Okay, and maybe 25, 50. Okay, 50 looks cool. We can see our volume. Now we need to change a few parameters here on our volume material. Okay, let's call it ink material volume. Okay, so let's change this, and this is the, let me change the name, background material. Okay, so here we need to change a few parameters, density and our absorption. Okay, I've been trying this for a while, and my best results with this scale is, let me change this, work first with absorption, because we want a dense ink. So something like 30. As you can see, we have a really dense smoke, but we lose a lot of color, a lot of light going inside the ink. So we need to bring the scatter near the absorption. Okay, so let's try 30. Cool, that start to look cool. Maybe a little bit less absorption. So if I dull this down, you can see we start losing the shadows. Okay, this looks cool, but I want a little bit more dense, and maybe a little more light bouncing inside the volume. That looks cool. Now let's bring color to our smoke. So let's use the tint and we can pick different colors. Okay. On the next part we will learn how to mix colors. Okay, but for now let's just work with one. Maybe let's try this like this. That looks cool. I want to grid a little bit farther, so 30. Okay, cool. And let's change the camera to have more we are start to losing. Maybe that's cool. I want this to be on 50. Okay, maybe I can increase the strength of our light. Okay, so we have more highlights. Our background, let's turn this up a little bit. Okay, that looks cool, but I don't like the light. It's way too strong here. Okay, of course, if you want, you can render with the alpha, okay, with no background, so you can see and add a background on the post effects. Okay, I like to see the background. Let's me try just pure white background. Oops, one. Okay, cool, that's pure white. That looks cool. As you can see, with our material we need to play with absorption and scatter. If I increase this too much, I'm going to have more highlights and more color. Okay, absorption will dense our smoke, and now you need to figure out a nice way to control to have darker or dense smoke or lighter smoke. Okay, if I go back to one by one, it looks like smoke, right? Just by changing these parameters on this material, you can create dense smoke and then add colors, and now it looks like ink, doesn't look like smoke. Okay, let me try and find another. Let's go up. So this is the start, something like this. Let me increase the resolution, 1080. Okay, save, and let's check this out. And we are working with a simple white, okay, and it looks pretty cool. Of course, now I have a lot of absorption, so I'm getting a lot of those voxels. So you need to or increase the resolution on your pyrosim or decrease this one. Let's go by again 10 and 20, and I'm starting to lose, but right now you can check here, it looks like smoke. So you need to find a balance between your resolution of your pyro and your absorption and scatter parameters. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool. Maybe one more light here and I could add color to these shadows, but it looks pretty cool. I love watching this ink animation. It's so relaxing, I could watch it for hours. Now you understand a little bit better the pyrosolver and its parameters. As you can see, the pyrosolver can be used for multiple things and not only for fire and smoke. Let your imagination go wild. If you try this ink in water solution, let me know. I would love to see your results and share with the community. I hope you enjoyed this first part. Have a nice day and see you on the next one.